All right, gang, we're back with our CrossFit and at-home Metcon for Monday, August 2nd. 8-minute AMRAP today, 6 overhead squats into 10 tuck-ups, then 6 lateral step-downs per leg, and then finishing each round with another set of 10 tuck-ups. We've just started getting back into these overhead squats in our weekly program. We did some on Sundays for a while, a cycle or two ago, but most of us haven't been overhead in that snatch grip position, getting deep in our squat in quite a long time. And also, most people, it's a very difficult position to be in, so most people really struggle in that position. A lot of us can get more weight overhead and get through the squat movement, but we tend not to be in a great position with our shoulders, which is why this movement becomes problematic for most. So I want you to focus on staying light today and trying to keep your shoulders in this position that I'm about to go over. So grip, general position, if you'll put that bar, broomstick, whatever you plan to use today in your hip and then slide those arms all the way out to full extension, that should give you a rough estimate for how wide those hands should be. Once that barbell is overhead, we want it to be right over top of the back of the head. And the other thing that's really important is we want to try to turn the insides of the elbows towards the ceiling. That's what happens to most people in this bottom position, is once they get deep enough, those shoulders start to roll forward. We don't want that to happen. So we're trying to turn insides of the elbows up. We're pressing up, keeping those arms long the whole time, trying to get that hip crease down below our knee. Also, try to stay away from letting that butt tuck under in the bottom. We still want hips back, flat back, all the way up through our head, pressing up into that bar, trying to keep the insides of the elbows up. Even if you've done some heavier overhead squats in the past, this might be a good opportunity for you to start at a lighter weight, and we'll continue to progress through these overhead squats in the upcoming weeks so you can start to rebuild that overhead squat foundation. If you're at home, you don't have a barbell, you can use a broomstick, anything that's going to give you that wide grip position, even with light weight. Trying to hold that stiff overhead position becomes pretty difficult. After that, we've got 10 tuck-ups. You need to be able to establish a good hollow body in the bottom. That means arms long, legs long, and low back making a bowl. So you have to be able to pull your ribs down to your belly button and your waistband towards your nose to establish that position. If you can't get there, our substitute for tuck-ups today is going to be bent knee rocks, because that's that same foundational position as the tuck-up, and that's what will help give you the strength to get into that hollow body. On tuck-ups, hollow body in the bottom, explode to the top, try to keep feet and knees close together. Find this balance point at the top where your knees are about as high as your shoulders. Tuck up as far as you can. The farther you tuck in, the more you're going to get out of this movement. So knees as close to your chest as you can. And then as you come back down to the bottom, you want to reach long before we explode back up. That's also a big movement flaw here for most people, is they'll come down and they might not get arms all the way long. They might not get legs all the way long. So reach long before you explode back to the top. After that, we've got our lateral step downs. We've been working through these the past several weeks as well, and our goal has been to start progressing ourselves deeper and deeper. So we cut down reps a little bit last week. We're moving up reps just a little bit this week, roughly 1 rep per set. So if you can increase your height a little more this week, go for it. If you did a big increase last week and it was pretty difficult, then maybe stay there for this week to work on it at a slightly higher volume. On these, keep that full base foot down. Opposite foot should actually lead out in front of this base foot as we come to the bottom, because what we're trying to get into here is a full pistol squat where we don't need to use the ground for contact. But even if you have that pistol, this drill will still help you learn how to do that movement in a better position. So chest stays tall, hips go back, this foot leads forward a little bit, and then we're barely tapping that toe in the bottom before we stand. If you find yourself having to rest in the bottom before you stand or pushing off of that bottom foot, then you know that that box is a little bit too high for you. So either decrease your box height or add another plate or two to the side so you're not stepping quite as low. You've got 6 on one side, staying under control, right into 6 on the other side, and then you'll come back down to the ground for 10 more tuck-ups or 10 more bent knee rocks. Cycle through that as many times as you can in those 8 minutes. Take your time on those overhead squats. Take your time on those step downs today. Focus on good range of motion, good technique. Good luck on our Metcon, and we'll see you back for Tuesday's workout.